Hello, everyone. How are you all doing? Come on in, sit on down. It's time for another episode of the Truther Therapy Sessions. What are we on now? 86? Is that the episode number? I don't even know. I'm losing track, but I'm on my way to the 100. We're getting there. We're close. I can taste it. I can feel it. And as we have stated at the start, and as you saw my little intro there, I am not a licensed therapist. I'm surprised I got away with doing this for so long, to be honest. But we're here, and it's another Sunday. The week's just flying by. Lots of stuff has happened. Lots of new things going on, and I'd like to talk about something new today. Something that's been kind of inspired through the past couple of weeks, and it's kind of been brewing in my own mind, you know, for a good part of half a year, as I've kind of got retrospective about my past and my artistic proclivities, which I've always had my entire life, you know, and. Yeah, I kind of got sad about the idea that I don't paint or draw anymore. I don't make music anymore. I don't sing anymore. I don't do anything creative anymore. And when I do pick up a pencil and actually draw something like I did of Wendy's cat there not so long ago, it's kind of like I enjoyed it so much. I felt that love and that passion deep within me that I've always had, that need, that desire, that want to create that was stolen from me. And not by my children, because they do take up a lot of time, but kind of by the industry of art itself. Like, I was a wide-eyed, hopeful, optimistic teenager, you know, thinking I could make it in the art industry if I apply myself hard enough and work hard and make sure I have the talent and the skills, and people will see that I've got the talent and find me and they'll display my work and I'll become a famous artist. The usual naive view that you have as a kid growing up, that the world's fair and the world works out how it should work, you know, and hard work and talent is rewarded in this world, and you know, that's all you've got to do, and you just got to keep applying yourself and, you know, get on that shirt and put on that tie type of thing, you know, go out there and do your thing and people will recognize. And it's kind of how stupid I was. What a fool. And you realize, oh, it's not about rewarding people with skill and talent for the virtue of them having virtuous abilities and skills. Oh, it's nothing to do with that. No, it's about the mediocre, rewarding the mediocre for being mediocre. That's all it ever is. And talented people are a threat in those industries, and they'd rather not let them in because they'll ruin the good time for everybody else, you know. And it was sad to see that. It was sad to have to get a university degree and get into debt for that, to see that. It was sad to experience that. The industry's a sham. It's all a sham. It's all a lie. None of it's real. It was an illusion. There was never any ability for anybody of talent without the proper connections to get in the galleries. It just wasn't going to happen, you know. And it's all orchestrated. It's all controlled and curated by those who can't do. You know, and then there's a whole money laundering aspect to modern art as well, and just being a good way to shift product. You know, you can definitely tell that was going on. So it's kind of, I lost my passion. I got to the point where it's like, what's the point, you know? And it was sad. It was sad, and I kind of gave up on that dream, you know, and I stopped painting, I stopped drawing, I stopped creating anything really. I went down the photography route, and I still love photography, and I have a passion for nature photography in particular, you know, and that's kind of what I carried on doing. But it got to the point where I didn't even have time or the passion to do that anymore. And I suppose I channeled my creativity in other ways. I started the YouTube channel again. You know, I wrote a book. You know, I make videos and stuff. I'm sure Mother's Day's here, and I'm sure you've all bought your copy of this for your own mother, which is naturally what you need to get for your mother on Mother's Day. If you haven't bought her a copy of the Nephilim Look Like Clowns, so she can understand that the costume of a clown is quite literally a representation of Rakshasa demons of India, then what did you get your mum for Mother's Day? I have no idea. It's not too late. If you still need to get a gift for your mother, then you can always just go to Amazon and type in the Nephilim Look Like Clowns and get her that copy that she needs to have, obviously. But I channel my artwork into that, and that was a creative endeavor, writing, and I'm still writing now, and my creativity goes every now and then into some of the videos I make. I put some flair in there every now and then, you know, but nothing really beats just having a blank canvas in front of you or a blank piece of paper and etching something into it. Like, I can't really explain it, and nothing quite beats the feeling of picking up a guitar and singing a song as well. So what I've done is I've made a channel just for that called Understanding Creativity. And it's going to be a place where I can showcase my own artwork and at the same time have those conspiratorial discussions and tell those stories of the corruption witnessed firsthand of those industries of music and art, you know, and film and media, any form of artistic endeavor, whatever it is. I want people to come on and share their stories of being in those industries and just how degraded it actually has become. I think it could be a great hub for people to tell those stories. I do have a photo of it here, actually. There we go, this one. So this is the logo. This is what I came up with. I was playing off of the original logo, obviously, which you all know, this one here. And I'm keeping it themed. I'm keeping it going. And who knows, maybe I'll go on and create many more different types of channels with this kind of color theming happening, so you'd always know it was me who was making this stuff. And yeah, I think it speaks for itself. It's just a pencil and a paintbrush, you know, with the typical Understanding Conspiracy color palette. And there it is. So easy to recognize, on brand and everything. And I'm quite happy with it. And yeah, so this is the channel. You can go in there now. The first video was premiered yesterday. Thanks for everybody who turned up. I really appreciate it. I'll just share the screen with you guys. Give me a second to get it up. But I'll show you the channel so you know what we're looking at. I need to get this up. There we go. So let me just share the screen here. Hopefully it works. So this is the channel. Like I said, it's pretty bare bones right now, pretty basic, not much really going on, as you can see. It's just got the one video up, but that one video's already hit 1,000 views, which is fantastic. It's a short one. It's an introductory one. It's going to be like the trailer when people first go to the channel. And I already have a talk lined up tonight with a professor, actually, of art and history, and a teacher in art history and a practicing artist from Adelaide. And she has been in the industry pretty much her entire life. And she herself is a born-again Christian who looks back on her artwork with kind of a more of a jaded perspective and understanding that the things perhaps we were creating in the past weren't conducive to something good, but more worldly in nature. And I think it's going to be an interesting conversation. And she seems to have some great presentations lined up to do with the occult within classic artists and how they've all been heavily influenced by the occult. And she has some slideshow presentations she wants to share with me about those as well. So we already have people coming in, guests coming in lined up. I'm talking with Topher, Christopher of Biocharisma, about his dome creations. He's going to come on and maybe do a bit of a chat about that. His sister is actually a fantastic artist as well. I'm going to reach out to her and get her to share some of her work maybe too. And this could become a great hub for people to share their artwork and just talk about what it means to be creative and be a conspiracy theorist and see the absolute rig system against them in this world, you know. I think it could be good fun. And I'm going to be reaching out to people as well. But again, this is... What's that? What's my wife saying? Fun fact, I haven't subscribed. My wife hasn't even subscribed to my new channel. There we go. That's support right there. But she is the first mod over there. That's correct. I did make her a moderator, but she hasn't even subscribed. But no, it's good fun. This is more like a passion project for me, like a side project. This is something I'm just going to throw a video out whenever I can. You know, and it's not going to be wholly consistent like I do in my main channel. On my main channel, you all know I do I throw a video out on Tuesday of me just talking about a topic I usually like, or perhaps an interview I did earlier on in the week. On a Wednesday, I do my own live Q&A session, which is kind of like an eclectic mix of topics where I just go through the current events and where we're up to right now with advancements in certain areas and realms of conspiracy. And then on Friday, I do my Tips for Truthers. And on Sunday, I'm here live again with you guys doing the Truth of Therapy sessions, where I give it a bit more retrospective, a bit more personal, connect with you guys in some way, and obviously get you guys to share some of your stories or get guests usually on the Truth of Therapy sessions, other truthers, other people out there in the game to share their perspective on things. No guests today, though I would like a guest. Connor, you're in the chat. Do you want to jump on soon and have a bit of a chat and a back and forth with me about some of these things we're going to talk about? Let me know. I'm always happy and open for people to reach out who want to be a guest. You know, I'm open. I'm easy to contact. understandingconspiracy@gmail.com, and just let me know. And obviously, that's my full week for this channel. Like, there's a lot to do in that time. It's not easy to edit a video, you know. And in between, I'm writing a book, I'm editing videos, I'm scripting future videos as well. I'm recording an audiobook as well right now. It's a packed week for me, but I will always find time somewhere to squeeze in a video for this extra channel and just chuck it out there. It's just a side project, but I think it's going to be a good one. I'm excited about it. If this is the first time you're hearing about it, go and subscribe. Get those numbers up. I mean, 500 subscribers in 2 days is pretty good. I'm very happy with that, but I know we can get it up there. We can get it up to a couple of thousand in a week, no doubt. So let's just get that done. Let's get over there. And who knows, maybe it could become a very good backup channel one day if this one just suddenly gets taken away. So maybe it's a place I can still exist. I've put it under a different email address. It's separate kind of from this one. So hopefully if this one gets striked and taken down, that one will still remain. It's kind of not affiliated in any way. Because if you make a channel and affiliate it with yours under the same email, if you lose one channel, you lose them all. They take everything away from you. So I've tried to avoid that issue. So consider it like a backup channel as well, just for good measure and posterity. Go and subscribe for that reason too. I'm going the call for an uprising model. I'm just going to make backup channel after backup channel after backup channel eventually, and just keep going with that. And while I'm talking about subscribe to things I do, podcasting. I'm on every podcast format. iTunes. I have an RSS feed. It sends it to everything. Okay. Go and subscribe on there as well. Give me 5 stars. Boost the numbers on that region as well. Because again, if this does disappear one day and I can't talk on here anymore, I will still be podcasting. I will still be doing my show just in audio format and video format for Spotify. Spotify, I can upload video and have it on there as well. So I'm not going to disappear if YouTube just disappears. I want you to know that. But I need you to be there, aware of it, to know that that's happening, ready for that eventuality. So please go and subscribe and follow and whatever it is you need to do on those platforms, on Spotify and so on. I would really appreciate that. But yeah, guys, art, it's personal. It's really personal. I know I have people in the chat who have told me it's personal as well to them. And I've had some fantastic comments coming through already telling me they're excited about this, probably the same way I am. And I think they will probably come on to share their stories as well one day when they feel confident enough to. I've had somebody reach out who's a regular on the channel, share me some of his artwork, and he also wants to come on. He's a London-based artist. And it's kind of, this is what I kind of want to do, because I feel like a lot of people have been feeling the same sentiment as me. It's kind of like, well, why bother? Because of the slop that's being mass produced now in every art industry. It's kind of like, and the millions and billions of views these people get and followers these people get, and it's kind of like they're not even like talented. It's kind of, it can really put a dampener on your want and desire to actually make something, you know. And I think a lot of people have kind of had that same attitude and same feeling. And, you know, I've got some stories to tell, which I will tell on that channel of my own experiences in that industry. But it's the issue wasn't always about necessarily that there were people creating bad artwork. That did piss me off. The idea that, you know, I felt like I worked to get to where I got to, and I was working hard in my field to produce the best quality artwork I could. You know, and that actually had meaning and feeling and sense and understanding, and actually had some level of talent within it as well, and skill and coordination. And I was sharing the classroom in these studio spaces with these other people who were not doing that, who were producing absolute nonsense of low quality garbage trash. Quite literally, just look at the found art movement. You can blame Marcel Duchamp for that, and he's putting his urinal into a gallery. That kind of kicked all that nonsense off. But there were people literally putting minimal effort into anything, not really producing anything of value, who were considered my equals in a way. And it rubbed me the wrong way. And I'm not trying to like get egotistical or anything, but it's kind of, where are the standards? There are no standards, you know, and it's upsetting. It's upsetting because it was one realization after another that it's kind of like my dream is a lie. And it's kind of, if these people are going to get their work in the gallery, then what's the point? Like, why even compete? Because the only people who, and I realized the people who run the galleries in the area I was in were these people who do this nonsense, and they were only letting other people who do this weak nonsense in as well, and they were just a bunch of pretentious arseholes, basically. That's the only way to describe it, just pretentious douchebags who spoke as though they knew something about something, but they didn't know anything, and acted like they had talent when they had nothing. And it's horrible to behold. And it's kind of, and the teachers were no better. Like, they really weren't. Like, and they were just equally as pretentious and playing along with this lie as everybody else to weasel their way into an industry they had no business actually being in, to make themselves feel valid in some way, propagating and perpetuating the idea that beauty is subjective, and anyone can be an artist and anything can be art. And it's kind of like, well, no, not really. And someone left a great comment, and maybe I'm gonna actually just get the comment and read the damn thing rather than try and paraphrase whatever it was he said. I don't know where he left the comment, whether it was on the new channel or my current channel, so bear with me while I find this. But he did leave a great comment kind of explaining the beauty itself, and how we know something is actually beautiful and what it takes to know that something is beautiful. So let me just find this quickly. It was quite recent, relatively recent. If it's not on this channel, it's going to have to be on the other one. On the Spotify version, these silences are gone. I remove them. Yeah, so that's, while I'm looking for this bit of a extra there for you, it's a more compact, more concise show with none of the live hiccups that usually come with doing live shows. All that's gone. So let me just click the actual video, and let's just see what we come up with. If I do published, most recent. Right, so if it's not on there, then it has to be on the original video. Which again, by the way, guys, links in the description to the original first video of the new channel. You can go straight there after this and go and check it out. And you can go and watch and see what I had to say to open this up. I'm quite happy with how it went. It was, as usual, I don't script anything. I just talk from the heart and let it flow. And it seems to work, to be honest. It seems to be working for me, so why change it? It's kind of my philosophy on that. Right. So this is a good one. Old World Everywhere says, the Bible treats beauty only incidentally. God is beautiful. The devil was created beautiful. Ezekiel 28:12. Trees, mountains, and even feet. Romans 10:15. It can be appreciated and can be a snare, particularly for men. What is left unsaid is that man, among all creatures of the earth, is alone in possessing the capacity to appreciate beauty. This would be an indicator that man is created in the image of God, thus shares this trait with him. As an outdoor landscape photographer, I am always in search of natural beauty this earth has everywhere, and to present it in the most pleasing way I know how. And I just like that idea. It's kind of like, look, we know there is beauty in this world, and as people, as Christians who believe we're made in the image of God, we know that God also appreciates beauty, just as we innately appreciate beauty too. And it's not a bad thing in a way, I think. And yes, people can make idols of beautiful things, but obviously we understand that's not what we're supposed to do with it. But we can still at least appreciate the beauty in things, and it elevates us. When you see something beautiful, that innate feeling it gives you, the elevation it gives you in your very being, in your very essence, your soul, yourself, your spirit. When you see something beautiful, it's instantly recognizable. It's not like a subjective idea or concept. You know what I mean? It's not like, and I know there can be personal beauty or tastes, and sometimes beauty is in their eye of the beholder in many ways. I can see how that is possible, but there is still an objective beauty above all of that, a standard which we compare things to. You know what I mean? And it's kind of the very standard goes all the way up to God, I would say. That's the ultimate standard we would compare these things to. And I just thought that was a nice comment. And there was another great one as well. And this is from Gravy Holic Bear. Okay, so I think he comes from the Owen Benjamin crew. But he does say something quite interesting here. It says, it's such a simple yet massively perverted concept in today's world. Beauty is objective simply because it is a measure of one's automatic first impression of something. You can study something and gain a deeper appreciation for how it was made. You can admire one's attempt at an endeavor. You can encourage someone to continue and produce more works. But if your involuntary reaction to something is anything other than awe, love, or wonderment, it's not beautiful. If you have to explain it, it's not beautiful. And that's the rub there. It's a great comment, because that is the problem with modern art. Okay, something completely nonsensical is thrown into a gallery. A mess of wires mangled into some kind of form or shape we're told is supposed to represent something profound in some way. And then you have this explanation, this little white box next to the piece of artwork with this big long paragraph of word salad, gibberish, like nonsense, just pretentious sounding big words slapped next to each other in an incoherent manner that you're supposed to read and be bamboozled by to make you believe that it means something, or that it holds some kind of significant weight. It explains to you why this artwork should be considered good, and beauty is not explained. It just is. We know when something holds that standard, and the whole art industry has the fingers in their ears and is just going, nope, la 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 la, not true, not the case, because it's held up, and all the galleries are supported by and run by and are filled with the mediocre, the ugly, those who produce things that do not hold a higher sense of self, do not bring passion to people, do not inspire people, they don't know how to inspire people. And I'm going to say the majority, they are godless people who are worldly and out for themselves and are wholly perverted in many ways, sadistic perverts usually, trying to put that onto us as though that's the new standard of where we should aspire to be. And it really is satanic perverts. Like that's I'm being honest with you. That is literally what the galleries are full of. Whether it's the lower level ones around university places, and small, quick galleries whipped up by small groups of people who are trying to make their name for themselves, or whether it's the biggest galleries like the Saatchi Gallery or the Tate or whatever it is, they are full of satanic perverts. That's what they are. Okay, it's all about sex and sodomy and just gross, horrible things all the time, like flesh, bloody displays of organs and mangled bodies and all this type of thing in some hypersexualized way. It's always something like that. It's always about sex for these people. It always is. Sex and flesh and death and pain and blood and misery and feces and period, whatever it is, just something horrible. That's all you get in these places. And it's like, no. It's not beautiful. It's not what we need. It's not what brings people up. And they say things like, does life imitate art? Does art imitate life? And what does this say about wider society, that this is what we have in our galleries? And I would say, and people have made the comparison, that the decline of Christendom in the Western world and the rise of atheism brought with it this disgusting, bland, deconstructionist, postmodern artwork of the contemporary world. And you remove God from the equation, you remove beauty from the equation, you remove standards from the equation. And a society that does that will create ugly things. But at the same time, I think it's more pernicious than that. I think people have intentionally hijacked these systems and purposefully filled them with ugly things to make society worse. It's a bit of this and a bit of that. Okay? I mean, simply becoming an atheist doesn't make you no longer appreciate beauty. So I don't think it's that. Okay? I think this has been done to us on purpose. I think you all know who I'm talking about, who probably did this to us as well, It's there. All right? And people bought it. Okay? People, the mediocre, okay, saw for the first time, Duchamp win an award for putting a urinal in a gallery. Okay? And that was it then. The rest of the people out there who had no talent said, we can do that? Let's do it. Let's start our own galleries and just do nothing but that. And we'll call it a movement. Like, they did. They cashed in and broed out and broed down afterwards. Like, they jumped on that bandwagon and rolled with it. And then that inspired more generations of younger artists to then be taught this crap in their schools. And then they will go on to copy and do the same and emulate. And then you realize these schools are now filled with talentless, passionless idiots who don't know anything about art and have no business being in an art school, who are now there and allowed to be there because, well, anything can be art. It's all subjective. There's no such thing as beauty. It's whatever you say it is. Just tell us how you feel about stuff, and that's enough for us now. And it's kind of no. The masters, the classics, the artwork made all through the last, 200 years. Like, well, let's remove the last 150 years of artwork. Okay, everything made prior to that was fantastic. It was beautiful. Even the Impressionists, even they had like, they were like a deconstruction form, I suppose, if you want to say anything. But even it was incredible what they did with nothing but dots. You know what I mean? It's kind of, there's talent and skill in that to still capture something so beautiful with so little is impressive. Okay, and I'm not saying even today we don't have artists who can do impressive things. They're just never going to get the attention on the mainstream bigger levels. They're not going to get it. They're going to be, like I said at the start, they're a threat. They're a problem. Okay, they're a fly in the punch bowl of everybody. They're siphoning off all the gravy on that train. You know what I mean? It's kind of, it's bad. It's bad for business to let the quality artist into the galleries. It really is. So they don't let them in. And and when they do see somebody who creates something talented, they give scathing reviews and say it's so traditional and old-fashioned and it's tacky now, and it's kind of, there's no progression in this. It's hotel art or something like that. They find some way to try and put it down in some way. It's like, because it's not avant-garde, and it's kind of what a made-up, pretentious, just pathetic word. It's trying to make something sound like it's on the forefront, cutting edge of creativity. And look, and I'm talking about the galleries, and you know what I'm talking about. And again, the new channel is going to be me doing this a lot, but showing you the shit artwork, showing you the bollocks you're supposed to believe is profound, and just ripping into it, tearing it apart, and calling a spade and saying what it is, And I went to a gallery and watched this one guy put a row of cactuses in high order next to each other. Okay? And I got into an argument with somebody at the gallery who was trying to tell me art is subjective. This is who you to say what is and isn't good art. And I literally said to him, it's a row of fucking cactuses. Like, what are you talking about? Why are you saying these words? Look at it. It's a row of plants you can buy at B&Q. Okay? It doesn't mean anything. He's just telling you it means something, and you're buying it because it makes you feel smart. And then he goes on to give me this just load of just nonsense about subjectivism. And I'm like, it's a row of fucking cactuses. Shut up. And I'm doing this in front of people. Everyone's filming me in this gallery, arguing with this guy, saying, you're an idiot. So what are you talking about? Like, why do you believe this is good? Like, why? What has happened to you? And after that argument, which is somewhere, it's got to be in someone's phone somewhere. I got filmed by a lot of people because I made a scene. Like I do. And someone somewhere has that somewhere. I don't know where. It's on the internet somewhere, and I want to see it because I don't know. I didn't film it, But afterwards, I was talking to the mayor of the city, because he was at the opening to this gallery, and he was looking at me and he was like, what a load of old bollocks. It's like, I agree with you. I don't get this. And I was like, cool. Well, you're pretty cool. And I met the mayor of my city that one time, and he agreed with me on art, but he was an old fashioned guy, you could tell. But still, the people believe this nonsense. Okay, and it makes them feel special. They're just there for the cheese and wine and to seem like they're cultured. Okay. But they don't know anything about what they're talking about. They don't have any talent themselves. They are con artists of the highest order. Like, the people going to see the galleries like show this crap are con artists who are trying to lie to everyone else around them that they're somehow cultured. And the people who make this artwork and put it in the galleries and tell you it means something, they are the cult leaders. They're like the Fagans to to the troop of thieves. You know what I mean? They're just the leaders who lead the con artists in a way and give them more stuff to fuel the con of the con artistic pyramid scheme of whatever. It's just, it gets me riled up, as you can tell. So I'm going to be talking about this a lot. This is what I'm passionate about. This is what I care about. I'm not going to be right about everything, but I'm not lying. Okay, this is how I feel about this situation. And the whole objectivism versus subjectivism argument in the art world has been going on for so long, and there's been pretentious people on both sides trying to argue their cases and then find a middle ground and go, well, I'm like, no, well, it's bullshit. It's not. It's a row of fucking cactuses. You know what I mean? It's not quality anything. It has no beauty. We need to make art great again. We need God back in the galleries. We need to instill standards of beauty again. We need to take back the white space, shall we say. We need to take back the galleries, and we need to put on the correct shows and the right people with actual talent again. We need to stop paying attention to their garbage. The absolute garbage. So there you go. That's my diatribe on modern art. Go to the new channel, guys. Nope, that's not it. Let me find it. Go to the new channel. Go and check it out. Go and subscribe, please. Let's get this up. Let's actually, so I'm not talking into the air, let's actually get the views on these videos, and then hopefully you can share them around with your friends and family as well and have a good laugh at some of the absolute nonsense we're going to be covering on that channel. And at the same time, this has a purpose and a meaning. It's to bring back the beautiful, bring back the standards, because without them, civilization falls. It's very simple. And look, we'll cover architecture and the brutalist movement and the concrete blocks that are everywhere over the ornate, beautiful things that mankind was once inspired to build. Maybe we can get a little bit of little season talk in there while we're at it, Who knows? We're going to talk about the music industry and the complete nonsense of the charts and pop music and the orchestrated control industries, and how they play the game of controlling the narrative and propaganda through the music industry, and how even getting anywhere ahead in that particular industry involves you quite literally selling your soul. We're going to talk about all that kind of stuff too. We're going to talk about every single artistic industry. Okay, maybe those who are in the writing industry can get in touch with me and let me know just how corrupt that is, because I'm sure it's just as messed up. Okay, and we're going to talk about the ideologies that are pushed through most of these modern artistic renditions of anything. We're going to talk about the Satanism that's been pushed through people, the Luciferianism. We're going to link this back to Helena Blavatsky, and we're going to go back to the thought schools, the think tanks, the Frankfurt schools. We're going to go into the idea of how they've been doing this for a while and completely and totally destroying cultural cohesiveness through the artistic endeavors. And we're gonna cover it all. So go and subscribe. Links down below. Get on there. Watch that video. Support the channel. Let's get it going. Let's get it revved up. It's just started. It's just crawling out of the ocean now, And let's stand it up and get it some clothes. Let's get it going. Brutalism is brutal indeed. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. If you can paint me a row of cactuses with photo quality, I'm on board. Says Will Smith. The thing is, I could paint you a row of cactuses in photo realistic quality. I can do that for you. I can. I'm not just making this up. I have that skill and ability. But someone could just literally buy a bunch of cactus and line them up in a row and say, there you go, art, hey. But again, this is the guy who did. I've got them. I can't remember his name now, but I think he was part of the Young British Artist movement in the beginning as well. But anyway, the guy who did that, when he came, I took loads of photos of his artwork, so I can completely lay it all out for you. But it was rubbish. There's also a room you could go in where there was a TV, and it was the video of someone vomiting. I'm not joking. There was another room you could walk into where the light turned off every 3 seconds and then turned back on every 3 seconds, and that was the art piece. It's kind of like the gaslighting you into saying something. It's like, go on, say something. You bigots. It's kind of like, it's like, oh, it's like the artwork. You know what I mean? It's kind of like forcing it on you, like you better like this stuff. You know, this is where the world's going now. It's kind of like there is no standards. There is no beauty. You're an idiot if you don't understand how a light switch going on and off every 3 seconds means something. And it's like and it means nothing, but it's like the what's the word, goading you into standing there going, wow, so profound. I just love the way the light turning on and off like gives me this existential feeling that like we just don't know when the darkness is coming, you know, and the light could easily come back into our life at any moment if we're just patient. And it's kind of, it's coming up with bullshit to explain that it means anything. And I was like, what does this piece say to you? You know, well, I think it's talking about the eternal refrain of man and the idea that death is coming for us all and that darkness will envelop us, whether we're ready for it or not. 1 minute we could be living in the light, and the next minute we could be hit by a bus. You know, it really makes me think about death. I just make it up. I made it up. It's bollocks. It's just a light switch going on off every 3 seconds. But they will making these idiots have these conversations thinking they're deep and profound, and it's like a giant joke. Like the clowns are in control, the demons are in control of these galleries, and they're laughing at you. They're laughing at you, looking at those raw cactuses, thinking it means something. And the guy who made that is laughing all the way to the bank. You better believe it, you know. Yeah, absolute. Just we'll get into that. We will get into that. How long? I'm going on for 37 minutes, just ranting and raving about how I feel about artwork. We have Art in the chat here. Art is an artist himself. He did a self-portrait of me, actually. Art, if you can, and if you still have that picture, I know it's somewhere. It's in the Telegram. Can you send me that photo, that drawing you did of me right now on Telegram, and I'll share it right here with everybody. While you do it, I'm going to very quickly just have a cursory glance and see if I can actually find it. Is it under the art, tech and music tab? Because you did a drawing of me randomly, I remember. And you're like, just drew Paul like today, just thought showing. I was like, nice, that's funny. I think you're the first. You're not the first person to do a portrait of me. I'm not going to lie. The first one was it was me high, and they were like, Paul's high again or something like that, because it was during that time when I smoked a lot of weed when I was like 21 or something like that. A different life, a time long past, you know. But since then, Art did a picture of me, and I thought it was quite good. It's got my signature pose. I think my arm's out like this, and I'm just doing this type of thing as I'm explaining something. It's back when I used to be on my couch in my old house. Everything was just done from the corner of a settee in my living room. But where is it? Where is that drawing? Found it. Right, we're on. I'm going to share this with you guys very quickly. Screen, you can see the Telegram here. And there it is. It's this one. I'll just quickly... I've got to open it for you. There we go. Did a quick portrait of me. Look at the fingers. I really like that. That's really dramatic, and like I don't know. I like the style. He's got a kind of a minimalist, yet the details there kind of style. And my eyelashes are looking lush in this drawing. I'm not gonna lie. Look at that. I think that's good. I think that's great. But Art himself is a practicing artist in London. He has his own issues. He's a born-again Christian. He's been battling with his artistic philosophies and ideas, and whether or not to continue. And he's going to come on the channel and share his story soon too. We're going to arrange a time. But thanks for the self-portrait. I really appreciate that. There you go. Quickly show you. Apparently, he just quickly whipped it out and made it in like 10 seconds or something, which is fun. It's really fun, and that's what we like to see. Something creative, something actually real that a real human being actually made. And, you know, talking about art, I mean, there's going to have to be a whole subsection playlist section on that channel about AI art and how the impacts that's having on creativity as well. We're going to have to talk about that, aren't we? See, there's so many avenues we could go down. So many avenues. And I'm excited. I'm excited to have that side channel for sure. Whoever made that is so talented. Like I said, it's Art. He's in the chat. He's right there. If I can... tag him. I'm tagging him right now. There you go, in the chat. There he is. He made that, and he says, I think some modern art is fine, but it's extremely hard to get it right and make it tasteful. Also, I find art education in the UK is horrendous, and I'm speaking as someone that went to art school. Exactly, that's how I feel. So I think there are some fantastic, talented artists in the contemporary world today who actually have real, amazing skill. A lot of them fall victim to the pretentious nonsense that's taught in the art schools, and they end up making themselves worse because of it, and their talent goes to waste because they buy into the bollocks that you have to be a pretentious douchebag and come up with something about, I don't know, the degradation of Western civilization, or like the colonialism of the colonialization of whatever, you know. You've got to make it about identity politics, or the ideologies kind of seep into these talented artists, and then their artwork suffers as a result. There is that. And then there's real artists who don't care about any of that stuff and are above all of that crap and nonsense and just make beautiful things for beauty's sake, who just don't get the attention. But they're out there today doing that. You know, one fantastic example is Elizabeth. I've showcased her artwork on this channel plenty of times. You can find it at Rejoice Artworks on the internet. She has a fantastic website here. I'll quickly just share the screen so you can see what I'm doing. Rejoice Artworks, or Rejoice Artworks here, by Elizabeth Tellep. And she sent me the background that you usually see, but she's currently painting that background right now. And this is some of her progress on it. It's a rose. What do you call it? The end window of a cathedral with birds in there, and it's fantastic. And she's on her Instagram showing the updates to painting these birds. But as you can see, this fantastic piece here. And here's a short video showcasing some of it for you guys. But you can see the time it takes to do these things. This is not easy, you know. This takes a lot of time to do this type of stuff. And there are artists out there doing this today. And she is criminally under she's not known. Like, no one knows about her doing these beautiful things and making this beautiful artwork. Like, you know, and I don't want things like this to go to waste. Like, it pains me to know that someone's putting this much time and effort into creating something objectively beautiful and nobody's going to know about it. Like, it's not fair. It's not right. It shouldn't be that way in this age where we have this connectivity through the internet. So we have to do it ourselves. Screw the galleries. Screw those pretentious cesspits of satanic perverts. Let's make our own place, our own platforms. Let's build each other up. Let's inspire one another. Let's actually get that out there and encourage one another. I implore you, go to Elizabeth's website and buy some of her artwork. It is for sale. Okay, the work is for sale. Look, she has commission. She can work on commission. She'll do portraits for weddings. You can do anything with her. She has a portfolio right here. She does portraits. She's got paintings you can buy, prints of these you can buy. It's objectively beautiful work. Nature, it's just nature stuff. You can't go wrong with it. I love this type of thing. It's observational. I mean, look at this lake. That's amazing. That's incredible pencil work. Like, this is way better than what I can do. Like, this is incredible. Like, and I'm inspired by it. I look at it and you feel it instantly. That is beautiful. Okay, she doesn't have to explain this. You look at it and you know, and that's what I'm saying when I say beauty is objective in my first video on this new channel. Okay, it's clear as day, and we need to not let people convince us and lie to us and try to tell us that's not the case. Don't let them gaslight you anymore. Okay, I am done with it. The Matrix Unravel says, Paul, you just spoke from my own heart in this modern art BS. While you're at it, you should attack modern art for architecture. Yeah, well, I say I'm going to go into architecture as well. Anything's fair game as far as I'm concerned. Pearl says, I'm glad I wasn't the only one who felt like modern art is shit. I'm tired of people pretending their random thrown together pieces have some profound meaning. Exactly. So am I. I'm sick of it. I think we're all sick of it. I think we've had enough. Like, we've humored them for long enough now, and now it's kind of like, okay, sit down. You're done. It's over. The gravy train is coming to a speeding halt. There's going to be gravy everywhere. It ain't happening anymore. It's over. It's over. Like, I'm sick of it. Like, I am so sick of it. And, you know, I gave up. Okay. And I thought, well, what can we do? But now, after a couple of years of working at this YouTube channel, I have a platform. I have a voice now. There are people who listen. And I can do something now. So I'm not going to waste that opportunity. And if I can in any way make a dent into that disgusting industry and at least encourage people to just don't look, don't pay attention, boycott modern art in these galleries, okay? If we can encourage people to do that, we can build our own place to have something beautiful that actually happens, conspiratorially based. You know, it's kind of like, not only are we sharing artwork for beauty's sake, but because we know they're corrupt arseholes over there who own those galleries, and we're going to point out how corrupt and disgusting and stupid they actually are. We're going to do both, you know what I mean? We're going to take back the power and expose them while we're at it. Not just quietly do our own thing over here. That's not what we do here, is it? We don't just quietly do our own thing anywhere. I'm gonna go for it. And people's feelings are going to get hurt. Okay, I hurt plenty of feelings when I was at university because the funny thing is we had these moments, right, at university, and they make me laugh, but they're called group critiques. Okay, and the spirit of the group critique is that you all sit in a circle and you all share what you're doing currently in your studio space, you know, and everybody says something nice about it. Basically, it's like, that's not a critique. Like, that's not a critique. All right, so I took it literally. I say, oh, so this is a group critique. Okay, so I watched people go round, and everyone was too nervous to really say anything about anybody's work. Says, I like the way you've done that. Oh, I like that color. Oh, I like the line work here where you've done this, you know. And then you get to me, it's kind of like, I would just say, I don't really understand what you're trying to do here. Like, and I would critique the work. I would give them a critique, and I hurt a lot of feelings. I did hurt a lot of feelings. But I wasn't there to make friends, and I didn't respect them. I didn't respect them. I did not consider them my equals in any way, shape, or form. I thought you shouldn't be here. Like, and I'm not trying to be uppity about it, but it's kind of like you being here has degraded the value and meaning of my own degree. If you're going to get one, then what does it mean that I got one? Do you get what I mean? It's kind of, I felt that deeply at my core. Because like I said, I grew up with dreams and aspirations and worked hard. And they didn't. They clearly did not do any of that. And here they are, next to me in the same place, you know, and they'll probably get a similar grade as well and see at the same degree. And like I didn't respect them. So I wasn't there to make friends with them. So I just told them what I actually thought of their artwork. There was this one guy who made some really crappy paper mache puppets that looked like jesters, funnily enough, you know. And he was like raging, like flaming gay. Everyone knew it, and everyone had to know it. You know what I mean? He was just one of those type of guys, you know, flamboyant in the way he behaves. And that was just his shit. That was his style, whatever. Nothing about that. But he made these puppets, and he went on to explain in this group critique how it's about the plight of gay people in Russia who are being killed by the government. Okay, now I'm not even 100% sure about the validity of what he was saying there anyway, to be honest, and to what context people were being killed and what he was talking about, really, you know. But I said to him, oh, do you live in Russia? I didn't know you spoke Russian or knew anything about Russian culture or had any connections to Russia. And he's like, I don't know. So what business do you have trying to convey the plight of a peoples that have no relation to you? What's the relation? You're gay. You both agree on where to stick your genitals, and that's it. That gives you the right to speak on the plight of peoples that you have no relation to whatsoever, and have no context to understand what they're truly going through, because you are in the least persecuted place on earth when it comes to being a homosexual. Like, so what gives you the right to make this artwork and make the claim that you can speak on behalf of these people suffering in this country? He did not like, he literally was speechless. He didn't know what to say. And I even threw in, and at the same time, I don't think what you've created here in any way has any relation to that thing you just said. How does two puppets mean anything at all to do with the topic, the subject matter you claim to be talking about and making artwork about? And again, he did not know what to say. He had nothing. And everyone was like, ooh. People didn't talk to me much after that. But it's kind of, I was done. I was sat there like at the end of this group critique, like just like watching and like, I can't do it. I can't do this. I cannot do this. I can't play this stupid game. And anyway, afterwards, but the teacher was talking to me, the lecturer who was in that day. He was actually this guy was actually cool. He was actually quite nice. I'm all right with him, I got no beef with this guy. He was pretty chilled and laid back, a bit of a leftist, anarchist type person, but he was pretty cool. You know what I mean? He wasn't like a dick about it. And he came up to me and he was like, and I said to him, "People aren't happy with me, are they?" He was like, "No, they're not. They complained to me actually. They want me to like have a go at you and tell you off basically and give you a warning. But I'm not going to do that because I agree with you. I'm just not allowed to publicly say that I agree with you. So let's just pretend that you got the telling off, and I'm not going to do any paperwork or anything, and we'll just get on with it." I was like, "Yeah, all right, fair enough." That was literally the conversation. It's like he told on me to the teacher, and I'm supposed to get in trouble, and the teacher like secretly underneath was like, "God, you're such a whiny little bitch." He was on my side. He was like, "Thanks, Paul, for saying the thing even I'm not allowed to say because I'll lose my job." It's that type of stuff. So that shows you what it's like. Everyone's in fear. These mediocre people have hijacked these industries and everyone's scared of them. And I'm saying, no. Screw you. What are you going to do? It's too bleeding late. I've done it now. You know what I mean? I've said it now. What are you going to do? Stop me from being an artist? Like, stop me from... You're going to get in my brain and stop my thoughts? Ooh, you're not going to let me in your shitty gallery? So what? I'll start my own gallery. This is what I mean. We need to stop being scared of these people. But like, even the teacher was like, he wanted to say these things but can't say them. That's what it's like. And these are the type of stories I've got. Like, the industry's corrupt. It's stupid. It's horrible. It's full of the worst people. And I'm sure it's in every facet of art and creativity. Every single facet. Okay. And what are we supposed to do with that? Seriously, what are we supposed to do other than just fight back and say, no, I am done. No way. Not playing your game. No way. Anyway. Paul wants order. He was kicked out of art school and now he wants revenge. 6 Grillion Rainbow Heads. I wasn't kicked out of art school. I saw it to the end. I got the degree and everything. I did well. I say I worked hard. But for me, making artwork isn't work. It never felt like I worked hard because I love what I do. Okay, so I got a decent grade. I got a 2-1 in the end. I could have got a first if I had gone harder, but I also partied hard at the same time, and I did a lot of other things on the side where, it was easy for me to breeze barely through art school and get a high grade because it wasn't hard for me to produce artwork. But there were people who grinded every single day in their little galleries and studios, and they still got the same grade as me, and I never felt like I worked a day in my life at university. I was partying all the time and high all the time and just doing all sorts of hedonistic, crazy stuff this is before I was born again, this is when I was a different person then, kind of, I've left that kind of life behind. I wasn't kicked out, I was there to the end. And yeah, I saw everything. The degree's useless. I worked at Aldi after there for 8 years of my life, and became a manager of a supermarket. What did I do with my art degree? I did absolutely nothing with my art degree. I suppose today I'm being an artist now. I make videos. I've wrote a book. I kind of drawing again. I'm doing this thing. I guess now as I'm going into my middle 30s, I'm 33 in a couple of months. I guess now I'm actually applying my trade better and more so. But it didn't teach me anything of value in terms of improving my skills. It just showed me how the industry works. It taught me a harsh lesson. Right? And I left empty inside. But there we go. But I still want order. I want order. I want to bring it back together. I want to get it sorted. Virtual Reality Witness support, Paul. Thanks for that. I appreciate it. Your book should be out now. On the way to you as well. He ordered a signed copy of The Nephilim Black Clowns. That should be on its way. To the person who messaged me today and paid for a hardcover, I've got the payment. It has come through. Sorry, I've not messaged back. I'll message you back after this video so you know I've got the payment. If you're listening now, I've got 3 hardcovers left, and one of these is yours, and I'll be sending that out first thing tomorrow morning, so that should be on its way, don't worry. Saviar, buy Paul's book, You Won't Be Disappointed. Fantastic. There you go. I got some glowing reviews. Thanks very much. What's going on here? You'll make me blush. Thank you so much. Oh, is everyone supporting Wendy and the interview she did on Connor's channel? I thought it was very interesting. Well done, Wendy. I could tell you were a bit nervous, but I think Connor helped a lot. I think, Connor, you were a gracious host, and you definitely helped Wendy, encouraged Wendy to speak as best you could, and you definitely had a very insightful conversation there, and I really appreciate that, what you guys did there. But yeah, Connor, do you want to join me by any chance for the second half of the show? Let me know. Send me a message if that's the case on Telegram, and we can sort it out. But I'm going to have a half show break. We're at the hour point now. I'm going to play some more music for you guys. And let me check my email so I get this right again. I don't want to butcher who sent this to me. I want them to know that. I want you to know who they are. But I'll check my Gmail here. I got a new music folder. Someone sent me an email to do with art there, Donovan. I will get back in touch with you after the show about this if you're listening. But it was from Steve, and I played one of his songs on one of my last shows. It was called Cain, and it was very interesting. I enjoyed it, and he sent me another song, which I'm going to share for you guys. A bit of a backstory to this song before we play it. He says, I enjoyed the acoustic songs you shared the other day. You should definitely pick it back up and do some more. Music is definitely one of the edifying, soothing, satisfying things left in this world. It's good for the soul. I wanted to share this latest song I just finished. It's about the final white throne judgment, but told from the lens of a worldly person or non-believer, which the Bible oftentimes references as Mitzrayim, Egypt. So I use that imagery to tell the story. A couple of my newest songs are trying to tie secular or mythological accounts of events to the Bible stories from where they originated, because the Bible is the truth, and these stories, other stories prove it, even when they try to change the names or timelines. Cheers, bro. Hope you like it. Talk soon. Stephen. So Stephen has sent me this song. It's called Soul Eater, and I'm going to play that for you now while I have a break. And then Connor, message me if you do want to hop on. If not, it's cool. I can do it solo. It's not a problem, but it'd be good to catch up with you and talk about the Pope, So anyway, this is Soul Eater by Stephen. Enjoy. I'll be back in about 5 minutes, guys.
My stomach's turning, split up colored stones. I'm feeling weaker as the dog's jaw close. Protector, he guards the underworld. There's no escaping her. Turns out, soul eater, tear my flesh in two, rip out my heart away. The scales of justice, the balance will decide. The second death or to the afterlife. With her feather weight together, burden soured heart deep. out my heart and weigh it.
That was a funky jam, wasn't it? I enjoyed that very much, I'm not going to lie. But I hope you guys enjoyed that too. That was fun. Now, allow me to just fumble around with my headphones. And I got to move this back down because I just opened up. Yeah, there we go. That'll do. I just opened up Zoom and it always makes the camera fly all over the place whenever I do that. But Connor should be joining me. I think he might be in the lobby now. Let me just quickly check. But I do have to hook this up first so you guys don't get any feedback. There we go. And let's see what's going on in Zoom. Here he is. Let's let him in. We'll get the camera to switch over so you guys can see Connor too. There he is. Connor, can you hear me? I can't hear you.
What's up, man?
There he is. Yes, loud and clear. I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good, dude. I was just listening to that Soul Eater song on your stream. Actually, really badass.
It was pretty good, wasn't it? Yeah. Stephen does have links to some more work he's been doing. I think he's collaborating with a band right now, which is where that comes from, but he does have some solo stuff as well. I think the links are on the previous show. I have to transfer them over and put them into this new one if people want to follow more of his work. But yeah, he's always sending me random songs that he's done, and yeah, they're quite good, aren't they? They've got a very professional like finish to them, which I quite enjoy. Yeah, but you're working on some new music, I hear.
I am, yeah. Well, I mean, I've got this record I've been working on for a while, but it's been kind of something I never wanted to force. I've just been kind of like letting it come when I got time. And then mid-project, I got distracted. Like I wasn't really doing much on YouTube when I started making the music. And then over time, I started getting closer and closer to this, like where I'm at now with the channel, doing all these shows and stuff takes up much more of my time. And then I took on another project which I'll go on about in the future. But yeah, you know how it is. You get divided by the things. I mean, I can only imagine, and you probably get that having kids. I'm sure that takes a lot of time and energy.
To the extreme,
But,
yeah, absolutely.
yeah, man, I know. So yeah, but I mean, I do have new music. There's a song that I've been working on for a couple of years now because I just felt like I was never really happy with it. Like you know, you're your own worst critic, you know. And I think it's a really good song, and it's high time that it makes the appearance. But I decided I wanted to really make something special for it, so I'm gonna do a music video for it. That's kind of my intention for this project here. So hopefully it doesn't take a super long time, but I have to create some costume elements from scratch.
I like
So
that. I like that.
it's gonna be, so I have to do a little bit of extra work. So, but it'll be good. I have the one project that has been taking my time that's like almost over. Like I'm pleased to say that I've basically wrapped up one of my major objectives. So there's going to be a lot more art instead of like fixing broken stuff. So that'll be cool. Yeah. So the song is called Paperclip, and it's an homage to the origin of my like kind of diving into becoming a conspiracy theorist. And it's basically kind of about like you know the whole moon landing and like the whole like for many people that was kind of it. For me that was I think the thing that kind of put me over the edge for like okay I can't believe any of this crap anymore.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, and there's a little bit of a journey and kind of a realization of the fact that it's also kooky, you know, that when you really study these stories from a non-biased perspective, you're like, man, there's no way. I mean, it's easy to believe something when you want it to be true, right? You hear these like, oh, we achieved greatness, you know, like we landed there, and it's like so cool and everything. But then, you know, you actually start to look at it critically, and you're like, oh man, this doesn't. If I was a skeptic, like if I was say like a foreign nation like who felt like I didn't believe the narrative, you could pick it apart and you would be successful. So
What always got me is I think was it Nixon? Was it Nixon at the time of the moon landing? Who was
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he called the astronauts from a phone. This wired,
Yep, online.
like it's this perfect signal, instant connection to this rocket, like going off. And I don't know. The whole thing just was ridiculous. Was he on the moon at that point? And the whole thing was broadcast.
They were, yeah. So they were live streaming in 1969. They were streaming that great stream quality apparently because they had it like on TV.
And they left the cameraman behind. When they set back off home, they left
He got there first. He must have had his own.
Yeah. They left him
Had
there just to film them taking off and moving that camera up, and it's like, okay, like, bye. Like, I've done my job. I mean, if that was true, he would die an American hero, no doubt. But the whole thing was just nonsense, like from start to finish. I mean, I could barely get through a live stream without having some latency issues, like, or something happens, like audio doesn't work or something cuts out. And this guy, we get a perfect stream of the entire trip to the moon and back, and I'm like, okay, yeah, likely story.
Yeah,
but people want to believe, don't they? That's the thing. It's kind of, it's not. It's more fun to believe the lie, isn't it? It's more, everyone's in on it. This is kind of what I'm talking about with the art industry. It's kind of everyone's in on the lie. Everyone's in on it. Like, we're all going to pretend this pile of garbage in the corner means something, and we're all going to go along with it and come up with our own interpretations of what it means to encourage this mediocrity. So someone who else is mediocre can get into this industry as well. We're all going to play the same game, and that's kind of what the world is. The world's just full of pockets of people playing these lie games for the mutual benefit of. Well, I like the lie. Like, I like the reality it creates, and I'm looking forward to that song. That should be good.
Yeah, man. I hope you enjoy it. It's been a long time in the making. In fact, the song is pretty much done. I haven't polished it up, and then I really want to do a video for it. I think that it deserves imagery to really help paint the picture of what I'm like kind of getting at. I feel like it'll be a good accompaniment. So that's coming in the near future. And then I do have a couple of songs that are out already, which I know you've been talking about. I should send them over to you. There's really nothing preventing me from doing that. I could just send them in an email later on.
Well,
So
I can play one of them as a maybe a half an hour break. I'll play one of your songs through YouTube or something. If you have you got them on YouTube? Are they on your channel?
Mhm.
Yeah, we'll play.
They're just in the videos section. They're down in there somewhere. There's two from the like hip hop kind of thing, and then I have a song called Strangers.
I
And
like
there's
that
actually there's a visual for Strangers that I put together of just like some old world footage and stuff that just kind of.
I like Strangers. I think it's a lot different from your older stuff, and it's
Yeah.
is the new song going to be going down that direction? Is it something?
It's kind of somewhere in the middle, I think. It's got some elements of both, I think. So I think you might appreciate it.
Brilliant. Yeah, so I'll support you on that. We'll get it on the channel when it's released. I'll play a halftime show, and we'll get all the links
Yeah, cool.
there and everything. But Steven's actually in the chat, who wrote the song we just listened to. He said that he is getting his band together. He's regrouped it. They're working on his songs right now, and they're going to be playing in the Seattle area later this summer.
Oh, that's cool.
But they're still working on an album, and the songs that we've heard on my channel from him, Kane and that one there, they are actually fresh, not really out anywhere. It can't be listened anywhere else. So you heard it here first. But he's compiling an album, a CD, and people want to buy it in the chat from the sounds of it. So yeah, it's like the whole supporting the industry and getting everyone out there and each other is working, it seems. And again, I'm not profiting from any of this. I'm just doing this for the love of art's sake, to be honest. So yeah, listen to Steven's work. Look out there, Steven. Stay in touch with me. Keep me updated with when you're doing your thing, and I'll keep supporting you on that, and I'll keep playing your work as well. And if anyone else out there wants to share any of their music, get in touch with me. Share it with me, and I'll get it out there. And yeah, we'll see what we can do with it. And like I said, I can get quite an eclectic mix of music on this channel now, of all sorts of genres and different levels of skill and talent and style, which is again good fun in and of itself. So I'm enjoying that. But anyway, let's get down to brass tacks. Let's talk about something conspiracy related. So
Okay.
like
The moon landing is not conspiracy related.
oh, no, it's old, that isn't it? That's like
I know, right?
That's like conspiratainment. Now that we laugh about that now. That's like old school
Everybody
conspiracy.
knows that.
Yeah,
Grandma
yeah.
knows that.
I put it on par with something like the JFK assassinations or Area 51, the moon landing hoax, or Bigfoot. Like it's under that umbrella of that type of conspiracy realm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Still all equally valid, all fantastically interesting conspiracies in themselves, but they're like the ones you're allowed to talk about. You know what I mean? They're the ones like the History Channel are making documentaries about. Those are the ones that like the magazines are all being made about, and it's kind of they're like safe, you know.
You're saying we need to be on the cutting edge. afternoon. Is that what you're
And what
saying?
I'm saying is, yeah, we need to be on the cutting edge of conspiracy here on this particular channel, and obviously your own. And there's nothing more cutting edge than demons looking like clowns, and I think people need to realize this. Okay,
Let's go.
like,
Oh, I
like,
think you're right. It
like
is pretty compelling.
it is, and like I said, with it being like Mother's Day, and if anyone looking for a last minute present for their mother, they should be getting themselves a copy of the Definitely Like Clowns, because what mother doesn't want to read about demons? It's quite simple, you know, and obviously solid spiritual warfare leading them to Christ. It's a win-win. Everybody wins, and everyone and their mother, shall we say? But yeah, the cutting edge, modern news. Something's just happened. We have a new pope, and I feel like I'm obliged to talk about this. And the same, I did some cursory research just before this, and I have nothing to say because this type of stuff, I'm going to be honest, it doesn't interest me that much. Okay, I'm going to be blatantly honest about what I feel about this particular topic and the Pope. Because in the past, every time a new Pope came along, everyone was like, is this the Antichrist? Is this the guy that's going to make the world to be what it is? Is this the whore that's riding the beast? Everyone's always like making them out to be some big end times character of some kind, and then you have the Catholic fanatics who absolutely lose their minds when a new pope is like ushered in, and like they're screaming like fangirls when he comes onto the podium for the first time. And the whole thing's a mess. The whole thing's a mess. And I'm kind of like, look, if we're in the little season, especially, like this whole thing is a show. It's a show. Like, and I keep getting the one true church people on my channel who are always trying to like shill for Catholicism. And it's kind of everything they say. It's kind of like, you have a religion. You don't have a relationship with Christ. And I know that might be offensive to some people, but it's like, I can't get on board with it. Like everything about the way they talk and behave and act. First of all, I think about 60% of them are LARPing as traditionalists, like traditional Orthodox Catholics, like they're LARPing. They don't actually go to church or care about any of it or actually take part in those things. They're just getting on that bandwagon, but it's cool to be Orthodox now type of stuff. But then it's kind of the way they talk as well. It's kind of like you're talking about the one true apostolic church all the way back to Peter. And it's kind of like every church thinks they're that. Like, why are you any different? And it's kind of, you want to talk about like the one true church of God. Have you seen the disgusting things your leaders have got up to in that institution? Are we just going to pretend that didn't happen? Because they've been trying to pretend it didn't happen for so long, but we all know what's been going on. And it's kind of, that church is so far removed from a relationship with Christ. I cannot get on board with it. And then you go into the icon worship stuff, and they have the justifications. There are ways to relate to specific problems and sins that these saints help us relate to and have a communication through to Christ with. And okay, intermediaries, I get it, with the little season topic as well. That kind of gives a bit more credence to the idea, because perhaps saints were around at one point and you weren't praying to the dead, and they were intermediaries to you, to God, and all this type of thing. I can kind of get that, kind of. But then when you look into it and you realize they added that into the 10 Commandments and removed idol worship, basically to justify it happening. And they basically took the thou shalt not covet commandment and turned it into two things to get rid of idol worship. They removed the idol one and split one of the commandments into two. And rather than just don't covet after people's stuff and anything that they have in general, they changed it to don't covet people's property. And then a separate one saying don't covet people's partners and wives and husbands. And it's kind of, wait a minute, that's the same sin. That's the same thing. You've just split it into two and removed the idol worship issue. Have no gods, but have no idols. No idol worship, simple, just got rid of it. It's like, how were we supposed to do with that? How can I trust an institution that changed the 10 Commandments given to Moses? How are we supposed to like justify that as anything to do with the one true church? I can't. It's kind of, I've got problems, man. I've got issues, and it's kind of, so what a new pope has been. So what? What do you think this person's going to do? Are they God? Are they Jesus Christ? Are they going to save the world and change everything and save the people and say they can't do any of that? Like, what can they do? And then the memes came out, and once again, he looks like Senator Palpatine. All right? He looks like an evil, dark Sith Lord. Like, that's what these guys look like. And I can't get on board with it. And I know people scream and argue with me all the time about my stance on this. It's kind of like, well, what have you got to answer for these things I just said? You've got very little. Like you don't have anything. Just you're just supposed to be a part of the church because that's what they said. That's what the apostles said. You know, you just have to be a part of the church. Like that's not. Churches are not buildings. They're not buildings. They're not institutions. The kingdom is within. Okay, you can be in the kingdom now. You can have fellowship with people right here, right now, without the need for any of that circumstance, pomp, and ritual, which is what it is at the end of the day. If you need the ritual, it's fair enough, but don't confuse that with a relationship with Christ. It's not the same thing. It is just not the same thing. And that's my take. That's my hot take on this. I don't care there's a new pope. It means nothing. It means nothing. It's going to be more of the same. It really is. But what's your take? Because he's an American pope. He's like named after which one is it again? What's his name? Is it Lou?
Oh, I don't know. I think without going on like a wholesale rampage, I will say that like
Leo, sorry, Pope Leo.
right.
He's named
So,
after one who like reformed the church or something like that a long time ago. He's named
yeah.
after, and that's why he picked that name. He's going to bring sweeping changes to the Catholic Church, and
cool.
that's kind of what they're saying. But go
Well,
on,
maybe
sorry.
what that means is just that the veil is going to come off, right? Like maybe the sweeping changes are just that we're no longer going to pretend that we're not like a cultic institution. And I always say this, and it's not to tear down the people who make up the machinations of this thing, because obviously people can be deceived. We all know we've all been deceived in our lives to some extent. But like when I look at Catholicism at large, I see the root of corruption in the post-millennial age. That's like where it all began. That is where like the birth of Christianity as a religion comes from, is this kind of structural usurpation of the church, which used to be the actual ministry of God's kingdom on the earth through his people. It then became this like usurped entity, and they went forth and did all kinds of stuff, whether you believe in the traditional historical narrative or not. It's essentially obvious that the Catholics went and they changed history, and they altered the cultural interpretations of things, and they created all these weird delineations. But what's even more important that I think people forget is that all churchianity, modern Christian type religion, it's all Catholic, even Protestantism, because the guy who invented Protestantism was a Catholic. He never renounced his Catholic faith. And
Hmm.
so what we have is essentially like they created a sect to create division for whatever their purposes were. But we never broke away from that initial thing, which is that Christianity in the modern age is just a religion. It's a series of rites and passages that people go through trying to appease God, but it's never really about the root of it, which is why when you look at Catholicism, the logo is the crucifix Christ on the cross. And that isn't to take away from the importance of that, but I always say Jesus Christ didn't preach the crucifixion. That wasn't his message when he came to earth. He came to talk about his kingdom, which was this new rulership, this new influence in the world that was lost. And
Mm.
so humanity was so fixated on the death of Jesus in this Catholic representation that that's all they focus on is the cross and Christ's death, which is, like I said, also incredibly important. It's the means by which he atones for humanity. But I think that people forget that the religion is one that clings to the physical, the death, the principle stuff that's physical and carnal. That's why people show up in buildings and they wear robes and they engage in physical activity, because they think they can attain spiritual things through physical actions instead of attaining physical change through spiritual change. Because that's what repentance is, right? You change the way you think about things. It gives God an opportunity to work in your heart and your life. And then you'll result in living a different life because you want to, not because you're faking it to appease the community or the church where everybody gathers, or the leadership in that church. And essentially, Catholicism is the origin of all of that. So when they established the idea that Jesus is no longer the mediator, we need some guy in a robe to be the connection, the way, the truth, and the life. I mean, because that's what they're saying, right? If Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life, why do we need a pope? You know what
Mm.
I'm saying? And so that pope in and of itself is a satanic usurpation of Christ's own position in the world as the way to God, to the Father, and to the heaven. Like,
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Like it's actually quite blatant and actually really horrifying. I never even thought about it like that until just now. Like in and of itself, the Pope is just a truly satanic institution. Like you can't even have a pope without it being totally evil. In
Hmm.
just the principle of what it is. You don't need a pope, guys. Jesus is right there. He's the way, the truth, and the life. So let's go.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I think I saw a comment from Owen Benjamin. I think someone posted it somewhere, and it was him giving his take on this. And I don't know where to find it now. It gets buried in everything. Everything that guy does gets buried everywhere because he says it, it's gone into the wind as soon as he says the damn thing. But the gist of it was, he's been to the Vatican and St. Peter's Basilica, and he looks at this thing. He says it's objectively beautiful. Everything about it is incredible. Like it was clearly built by like incredibly inspired people of God, like in every aspect of it.
No doubt.
It's like unbelievable to behold the details and everything, and the standards and the level of creation that went into that building. And he's saying the people in there now did not build that thing. They are so far removed from the original people who did. It's kind of, they are practically just squatters in this thing, and they hate it. They hate looking at the beauty that was created, and that they had nothing to do with it. And in fact, everything they do behind the scenes is antithetical to what it represents as well. You know, they truly hate it in every respect. And let's just say, you know, it is going all the way back to Peter, the apostolic succession, the leader of the church, shall we say. Every pope since has been that person, you know. If that is even true, the ones in the beginning may have held more of an important weight and followed things a lot differently than what we see today. If that is if that even is true, you know, if for some reason in Italy is where Catholicism, where Christianity was settled for some reason, if that even is true, okay, just because of the Roman Empire and the conversion and everything else, still, those people then are not the same as the people running it today. They are
Definitely.
not even anywhere close to the people who were in there at the beginning, like in terms of standards and moral standards. They are not there. Like they are not the same people. And now it's become just a show. It's a huge show, I would say, for the public. It's an institution. It has profits, like it has, and I don't mean that as in like people who tell the future. I mean money, profits, profit. Okay, they are making money, big money, and they have power and influence, which is completely unchecked in many ways. And they are clearly like an arm of the wider agendas that are at play against us. They are clearly being used to forward ideologies. I mean, the last pope was talking about baptizing aliens, okay? And obviously they're basically extremely left-wing liberal in every respect. And then they always throw in like, oh, let's just stop the war, guys. But really, I don't think they really care about that. It's just all front. It's all the front for these people. And again, it makes me, I don't like the idea. Everything about it is just because what gets me the most is that's what people point to when they think about Christians. That's
Absolutely.
the mainstream understanding of a secular mind to what a Christian is. They look at the Catholics and they think that's what it is to be a Christian. Okay, especially here in maybe the UK and in America, you know, I think you have more of a real extreme Protestantism and type of thing going on in America. You know, really extreme, you know. But even like in England, we have Protestantism and Methodist and Anglican and so on. But they're basically all Catholicism light, basically. Okay, it's all kind of still Catholic, you know, except from the eccentrics out there. What do you call those ones again?
Charismatics.
The charismatics, yeah, there's something else.
Yeah.
They're just they do their own
It's
thing.
all unhinged though. It's all stemming from this like I always call it the country club, right? Because it's like
Yeah,
you're hanging out together, drinking coffee, like wearing nice clothes, like and it's a lifestyle. It expands. You're like running businesses and doing all this
yeah,
stuff, but it's also superficial because everybody's like, "Oh, my business was so successful. The Lord blessed me this year." As you like squeezed maximum profits from people who had like disasters, their roof was leaking, and you ran them ragged and made like you know what I mean? It's like you didn't succeed because you're good. You succeeded because you're evil. That's just what it is. It's not like I'm saying don't make money, don't have a business, don't succeed in the world. I think you should. But I think there's like a self-reflection that comes from being a real believer where you check yourself. You're like, I don't know if it's right that we make X amount of money percentile based on an industry that's not like, for instance, healthcare. I always bring this up. The healthcare industry in the United States is so wretched because it's making money off of sick people, right? We don't even have to get into like the nitty gritty about any other of the conspiratorial. It's just the basic principle of the idea that people don't go to the doctor because they want to. Nobody wants to go to the dentist. You go there because you're screwed up. You need help, and then the costs are crazy, and it's not like justifiably crazy because we've come so far as a species, and the availability of technology and manufacturing. It's like we almost have no excuse. Like things should be very available to people, but it seems like the most poverty-stricken people are the ones who suffer. And that's the same thing that you see in religion, right? Religion takes people who are the most spiritually poverty-stricken and broken down, and it takes a hold of them and it puts them into this debt scenario where now you have to atone, you have to do these things. There's all these actions you have to take that are not the message of Christ.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that Christ doesn't have expectations, but it's like expectations for your greater good, not expectations so that you fulfill some sort of a preconceived slave position in society,
Or
right?
a church. Exactly.
Yeah, or the church, right? Like you need to be the only people who have authority in the church, right, are like the worship team, the pastors, the admin people. Everyone else is like expected to be a plebeian, just like in the regular civilization, but that's not what Christ teaches. Like he
Mhm.
talks about how everyone is supposed to be kings and priests. You're like the inheritance of Christ. Your value is really high. So it's like it doesn't make any sense that we accept ourselves as just a seat warmer to be followers of some other guy who sets themselves up as the teacher. I'm not saying that there aren't people with talents or with the different purposes in the church, but we see like a wholesale corruption of the idea, turning it into a profiting corporation where you come
Mhm.
in, the concert starts, it's like a stage show, and then, oh, bucket, don't forget the guilt tithe box, you know. And they never really do change the world for the better, right? It's just kind of like a blender, a circulating whirlpool that just never goes anywhere. It's kind of a shame,
It's called
honestly.
I think they call that a racket today. That's what they
Yeah.
call it. Yeah, well, I could never gel with any of the churches I went to in my early days when I first was born again. They're just not my people. And I'm not saying like maybe they're brothers and sisters in Christ, but the way they're doing it, I'm just not, I'm just can't do it. Like I just can't do it. It makes me cringe a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. That's how it feels. And I think it's sad that that's the image Christendom has. Either you're Catholic or cringy, weird,
Hmm.
like small church people, and who do these. I don't know. It's like something like 80-year-old women do. It's kind of how it is in England. That's how we kind of view it. You know what I mean? They're basically there just for tea and coffee. That's what they're there for. It's a social meeting. It's a social club. It's a gathering. And then we have these weird ones in the UK as well, which are kind of like they're not like Catholic, they're not Anglican, they're not like Church of England or anything. They've created like their own upstart church, like it's just like the Life Ministries or something like that, or something. And they call it something random. And you go, and they're literally they're a cult. That's what they've become. They've become a cult, right? They look like a cult. They act like a cult. They have that big weird smile on their face because they've been indoctrinated like cult members, and it's creepy. It's just creepy. And you go to the cafe or something because they all have a cafe that you can go to, and everyone there is just it's fake. It's fake niceties. Everything about it is like I don't like it. You feel off there. It's something's off about it. It's kind of like it's not about Christ. It's about how much you volunteered for the cult. It's how much time are you giving to the cult? Do you know what I mean? How much of your personal spare time have you volunteered to do a shift in the cafe this weekend? It's that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? You can see it, and it's kind of like it's weird. It's weird, man. It's kind of you need community that much that you're willing to just lose yourself and your God created personality and individuality to this homogenous this mess. And it's kind of I don't feel like Christ and God wants us to be like heads bowed down to this what's it called, like a monolith in a way. Now look, I'm all for having a king in the kingdom, but I think he wants us to be individuals in his kingdom, not like robe wearing cult members in a way. Like it's an extreme, but it kind of gets like that. And what do you call them? Like they call enclaves or something like that. Small pockets of like
I think
identitarians in their own way, and it's kind of I don't feel like we should be one body, right?
Mm-hmm.
Without these boundaries or borders or differentiations, and it's kind of where is that? Like, I feel like we're doing it. I feel like we're the cutting edge of Christian contrarian Christianity right here online. And I feel like this is really what's going on. My wife's like, hey, I like that cafe. Like, it's really, the food's really good, man. I probably shouldn't be eating it. I'm not going to lie. But the cafe's actually, it's gorgeous. Like, it's really good. That's how they get you. That's how they get you though, isn't it? You know?
Well, I mean, that's the thing. They take something that's not inherently bad and they turn it into something bad by making it religious. The kingdom is about a way of life that exists within you that then flows out in the way that you treat others, the things that you give your time and energy to. It's about an understanding that doesn't have anything to do with a building. We could use buildings, we could shelter the homeless, we could organize resources, we could do things that were actual ministry, right? When you look at like a kingdom that exists in the world, they'll have like a ministry of defense. What is it for? They're actively working to ensure the defense of the country, purchasing systems, setting things up, building bases, training people. They're doing stuff. The church in the modern age is like, we're doing stuff. And it's like, we hosted a meeting and everyone came and we had donuts. And it's like, that's not it. You don't just please yourself. That's not the purpose of the church. We're not supposed to be having fun. Fun is separate from administration. That's what the word ministry comes from. So everyone has a ministry, and it's just about like having a good time, hanging out. We're trying to breed a culture. We're trying to create an environment that's fun. And don't get me wrong, I really believe God can use people who are willing for good things. I have heard and been around people that were in the church that were really impactful, and great messages, beautiful music. It's just like imagine how much better we could do if our purpose was higher and focused on the right thing. Then we would have all of our administration going on, which would allow actual change in the world, which would make it a whole environment for the growth of people's worship music and people's talents and abilities and art. You don't live under satanic oppression. You get to grow and develop as a person. So we're trying to like have our fun without any work. That's what the church has done today. Is it's kind of created like a we don't need to worry about government stuff or about world affairs. Let's just get together and have our coffee and our thing, and we'll make our own community where we have nice paved sidewalks in our neighborhood and blah blah blah. And we'll just ignore what's going on outside. And it's like that's the nature of the church in the modern age, is to sequester itself instead of to being like going forth and have dominion and subdue all the world. And you know what I mean? Like this is the like whole nature that Christianity is completely lost about the idea of kingdom. Like if you were a colonist and you were sent to some faraway land, it doesn't mean like, you know, implication of like attacking people, but you should be like putting up the tent that's the same color as the tents back home. You know what I mean? And back home is where? The kingdom. So our life should be like a little reflection of that. And if there's enough of us doing that, the overall change takes place. You know, if everybody reflects a kingdom lifestyle and mentality, we see problems in the world and we approach them as a kingdom person would. Oh, there's trash on the sidewalk. Well, this is our sidewalk. Let's work together to clean up the trash. You know, and we have a collective responsibility because you know you're supposed to be in charge, not just like sequestering yourself into your own community. It's a different way of living. It's a different way of thinking when you decide that you're part of something that's not of this earth. And that's the message that people are missing because they're not teaching the message of Jesus. They're just teaching what he did when he came here. And that's not bad. You know, it's like JT always says, if you read the Bible, any of the translations, you'll get to Jesus, and that's the way. But then we should read what Jesus says. That's what I think is really important as a community. We should listen to what he's talking about and really try to understand that. That's just my opinion.
I agree. And on that note, I think we should have a halftime break and play a song. I think we should. I'm going to quickly just switch the screen over here so that people don't see my random searching. But if I go to your channel, which should be at the top of my subscription, because I'm always on your channel. Yeah, there it is. The cults have gone. And if I go to videos, is it in a playlist perhaps, or is it just... Strangers, I've found it. Here it is. Perfect. I'll just line this up so they can see the screen, and I'll make it so it's more full screen before we start this. While it's playing, I'm not going to be able to talk to you, Connor, obviously. but you might want to just obviously mute anything you've got going on so I don't think there's no echo coming through or anything like that. But I'm going to play your song, Strangers Here. It's a 4-minute break. In the meantime, I'm going to quickly nip downstairs and get a drink because I've just run out of water. And then we'll carry on for maybe another 20 minutes when we get back, and we'll open up to the chat. And yeah, we'll just have a talk. We'll keep it going, all right? So here it is, Strangers by the Cult of Con. And we're back. There we go. That was a jam. I enjoyed that. I think the people enjoyed it as well, Connor, to be honest. I think the chat seems to be Yeah, raving reviews for your music there.
Awesome.
I like
I'm
that
happy
song.
to
I like
hear.
that one. I think that's I like the I like the Christ supremacist stance as well. I think that's
Oh yeah. I'm definitely planning on I needed to kind of like shelf it a little bit so I could kind of figure out what I was doing. Because I didn't really take it seriously enough to realize that like if that goes anywhere, I'm gonna have so many problems. You can't have an album called Christ Supremacist. You can't do that. I mean, I'm going to, but I needed to kind of reevaluate because I needed to even know what that meant, you know. It took me a little bit more time to evaluate my understanding of like what the worldview is, because it's like Jesus says there is no free nor slave nor Jew nor Greek nor male nor female. In Christ all are one. And it's like so people get caught up on these like individual religions or individual races or nationalities, and they're like they want to say our team is the best. There's only one team, the Christ team. He is the best. So it's really easy to put it that way and say Jesus Christ, King of Kings,
1 second.
Christ, supremacy. Is it me? Do I have noise coming through the back?
I think you may have our video playing in the background.
Okay, I turned it off.
Yeah, there we go.
I couldn't hear it. I thought it was muted, but it was still coming through. My bad.
So basically, what you're saying is you're a raging racist. Is what you're saying there.
Oh, sure. Well, I mean, I'm only about Jesus. He's
Only
the
about Jesus. Well, no one's going to see it that way. He says Christ
well, some
supremacist.
people
So
say Jesus is black, so
well, yeah. Well, you know,
I guess
who cares? Who cares what color he was? It doesn't matter. But no, I understand the sentiment, and yeah, you know, I think we with the little season research, I think we understand a lot more these days about what it means to be a part of the kingdom, what that actually means. You know, and I think it comes with this idea that, you know, Christ is supreme. He's the King of Kings. Like, if realistically, we should be Christ supremacists, like, because there's no higher order than that, to be honest. And it's not, and the negative connotations, there are no negative connotations. The guy literally came and raised the dead, like, and healed the sick, and gave the right way to live on the earth. And I think if we do be extreme Christians, the world would be a better place quite quickly in many ways. And that doesn't come with anything negative. But I think people don't. But as we mentioned earlier, because they see the Catholic Church and the Inquisitions and the Crusades and all that kind of stuff, they think being a Christian is violence. It's white violence. That's what they think. That's literally what people out there believe about Christianity. And it's kind of like that has nothing at all to do with Christianity. But it's kind of it's the false image, isn't it? So in a way, I feel like artwork like yours is redefining and taking back language and creating new ways of viewing it. And I think our generation and our culture today, I feel like we're ready for that kind of take, that hot take, because of meme culture and the rest of it. We can all take a joke a bit more than the previous generations. I don't know. I mean, I'll throw the ball back to you on that one.
no, I'll say I think that what we need more than anything are people who are willing to put themselves out there and take the risk. Because what happens is when one person stands alone on any hill, it's easy to target them, to tear them down, to destroy their life, to cancel them, whatever. But if we stand together as one body of Christ, there's too many of us. They can't get rid of all of us. There's something like, I mean, it doesn't even matter, right? Because people identify as what they want to, but there's like 2 billion Christians on earth. That's what they say. Maybe. I don't know if we have that many people on Earth. I don't know any of
Maybe.
that, but what I will say is that you know who you are, and there are a lot more of us than people think. There's so many people who have been trained to be quiet, to be respectful, to not try to be that guy who's on the corner street preaching, annoying everybody, you know. And I think that to an extent, it's true. We shouldn't be out here trying to like evangelize people or ram people down with our belief system. But what we should be willing to do is identify where to draw the line and say, we're not giving this. We're not gonna let this pass. Because look, it doesn't mean that you have to tell everyone how to live, but you can't be told how to live. You know what I'm saying? If they say to you, "Oh, you can't do this because of our ridiculous," well, that's not our job to be dominated by satanic cultures and religions and nations. Our job is to stand where we're victorious in Christ. So if we have the confidence as individuals to do it, it will build the confidence in others to stand with us. And when we stand together, there's too many of us. And I'm not talking about anything other than to say that we should be able to say who the King of the Kings is, you know? We should be able to stand up and say that with no fear whatsoever. We should have solidarity and power to declare the King of the world. That's, I think, the very least. That's like stage one. and then where we go from there, whatever. But yeah, that kind of stance of saying something radical, like, to say something like, I believe the other religions of the world, including Christianity, which is not true Christ, Christ supremacy, right? If it's religious, it's wrong. So you can say, I think the religions of the world are wrong. I think Jesus is right. I think that the nations of the world are wrong. I think his kingdom is right. I think the cultures of the world are wrong. I think his culture is right. And we need to have a world where everyone can say that in every land on earth. That's our job. That's what I think.
Yeah, you do make a good cult leader, don't you?
Maybe.
You
We'll see if it translates to some moolah.
Well, cult leaders make more money, but followers have more
That's what I'm
fun.
saying.
That was inspiring, and I appreciate the sentiments that we should just stand up and say no more. We should obviously, like I said, we can't be told what to do. We're not of this world. Like, we might be in the world, but we're not of this world. And if you're not being contrary to the impositions upon the masses, are you even a Christian? That's basically how we should see it, isn't it, in a way? Because we're not here to play their game. We're of a different kingdom. We're not of the... I might be a citizen of the UK, but it's not my authority. It doesn't have authority over me. Only Christ has authority. And that's how we should kind of see what it is to be a Christian today. But a lot of people don't behave that way or think that way or see it that way. And I think like a religion is... religion, I'm not talking about a relationship with Christ, but these institutions, I think they do have a habit of pacifying people in a way. That is true, and to kind of make them okay with subjugation, or make them more of a go along to get along type of peoples.
Right.
And and if you want to ask what Jesus would do, flipping tables is not, and cracking out the whip is not beyond the pale of the type of things he would do in his defense, And I feel like we should probably be taking that back now more than ever, because I think the time is short, and I think the kingdom is around the corner, and I think stand proud, stand tall. Let's do it. Let's actually do it, and not be ashamed or guilted or ridiculed. And it's kind of like I still get these comments from people. It's kind of like, oh, I'm on that part of the internet, ha ha ha. It's kind of like, you Christ something or others are so crazy, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, oh, I've landed in the schizo realm of the. I'm like, no, not anymore. This is it now. This is where it's going. Like, I think the truth is getting out in a way, and when people make those comments, I feel sad for them. They think they've got one on me by making that little comment. And it's kind of like, you need to catch up. Yeah. That's how I feel now. It's like, it's cringy when they make those like atheistic type, haha, I got you now comments while pulling up the glasses. Those type of people with the tipping the fedoras. Like, are you still here? Are you still around doing that with click to your Richard Dawkins book? It's kind of like, come on, man, catch up now, get real. Like, have you seen what's going on? This is spiritual. Like, what's happening right now in the world is biblical in nature. Like, this is nuts. Like, get with it. Even science agrees that it's not all physical anymore. Like, your own science is telling you something trippy's going on. Like, it's weird, man. Like, it's quantum or whatever the word they want to use, But it's like, no, it's spiritual. That life is spiritual in nature, and I think a lot of people are now getting on board with that idea. And I think that's why I think that we have this rise right now of this like ortho bros, these orthodox actors, shall we say, who are looking for God but don't want to accept God as real because they still want to cling on to that thing. So they kind of, well, I'm going to like act like a Christian through orthodoxy but not really believe in God. I don't believe in a real God, but I like the idea of believing in a God, so I'm going to pretend that you get those people around. It's kind of like, what is going on? But I guess in a way they're edging the way closer to the inevitable truth. And it's tough for them to break free of the programming, so they got to pretend first. Like, I don't know. Jordan Peterson basically did the exact same thing. I think he's inspired a generation of young men to do the same. But again, that's like out of the, what do you call that? Out of the fire into the frying pan? Or is it the other way around? Out of the frying pan into the fire?
Something like that.
Yeah, you're trading one institution for another. One set of rules and regulations for another. One set of ritual for another. And it's kind of, I feel like we... on the cutting edge, as you say, are here to say you don't need any of what the world is offering you.
Amen.
Any of them. And I think it's a message that's resonating hard
Definitely.
And I think they're scared. I think they're running scared. Hence why we're so heavily attacked and called everything under the sun just for talking about Christ's kingdom. Basically, that's what we're doing. Well, we talk about the little season. Like you said, you want to do a bit of a rebrand on that idea. But what we're really saying is Christ told the truth. His kingdom was here and the eternal kingdom's right around the corner. That's what we're really saying. Right? But we also happen to be in this little time here, this little slice of time called Satan's little season. But it's not like he is God. Like it doesn't change. But I think again, when people hear what we say, as you were saying, it's kind of they get scared, don't they? It's kind of like, what do you mean Satan's little season? It's like, well, what's that? What's that? Like, what am I doing here? Like, why am I in it? Why do I have to be in this season? It's kind of, did I miss it? Did I miss out? It's kind of like, no.
Or are you cursed in some way?
Yeah, so that's what they go. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I was just say, if anything, if you're here during Satan's season, it's because you're special. Like God knew that you would be here for this very difficult time in history. That's why you're here. He chose you for just such a time, an important time. So if it is a little season, be proud, be glad. I mean, to whatever is reasonable. Obviously, pride is not the thing, but be glad that you were chosen for such a fight. And then to go beyond that, I will say this is a very tough time in history. There's a lot of degeneracy and a lot of problems, and things are proving to suck. You know what I mean? Like people talked about their visions of how, oh, it'll be so good, just like the progression of modern art. It'll be good because it's not what it used to be. Well, we're over that. We don't buy that anymore. The rubber has hit the road and people are sick of it. And it's just like you said, people are looking for the solution, but they don't know where to find it. So they're looking at these other institutions. They're like, well, maybe I've got to be a Catholic. I got to go back to the church, or maybe I got to be like an ortho bro guy, but I don't want to be religious. That sucks. It's boring. It's cringe. And people are like, they don't realize how close they are, that what we are working on as a group, whether we know it or not, God is using this community around this central topic of little season eschatology to create real cool kingdom people who are not a monolith of boring and bad music and like corruption and cover-ups and like all that branded terrible stuff that people think of when they think Christianity. That stuff sucks. We don't have that. That's not what we are. And so we get to do kind of a microcosm example of Christ knew the world needed an example. Now we get to be the example for the world by following his. That's the advantage that we have just in this time, that it's like if we don't act churchy, if we don't act cringe, yet we still declare that Christ is king, Christ's supremacy, then we can have the truth without any of the nonsense. And that nonsense is failing. People are sick of it. Just as much as they don't like crime and villainy, they don't like crime and villainy disguised as church and righteousness. So people are getting good at telling the difference. It's like we were saying, like the moon landing. We're way past that now. Like people are on to like, what kind of cryptids are living in the woods just north of my house? Like I don't know.
That's true. That's very true. Well, we're coming up on the hour. We have 5 minutes left. I think we've covered an eclectic range of topics there. I would like to close out maybe the last 5 minutes with maybe your closing statements or this idea you're working on about the little season movement, because it's come a long way since we started this thing. And we didn't start it. It started in like 2019 with another group of content creators that kind of just disappeared in some way and stopped talking about it. And we kind of picked it back up and nurtured it and brought it back to life. And now it's become this whirlwind tour de force tsunami just sweeping over like mainstream Christianity, like some kind of destructive, horrible force. And I've noticed over the past maybe month, every day there's a new debunking video now. It's like another pastor somewhere has made a YouTube video and he's like 1,000 like member YouTube channel or something like that, trying to explain to his congregation how the little season's just nonsense or something like that, how this theory is nonsense and how the new heaven and earth isn't here yet, and saying all this usual nonsense which we're not saying, like to debunk what we are saying. And it's kind of every other day now is just another one after the other, and that tells me they are scared.
Oh yeah,
like, why aren't you making debunking videos against Mormonism or debunking videos against the Jehovah's Witnesses take or debunk? Because they're not scared of those people.
Yeah,
it's not a threat because they at least believe in the same thing I do, that Christ is still to come. Do you know what I mean? It's a completely different but this topic alone, like maybe you were wrong is what we're saying. That's what we're saying. Like maybe we were wrong and Christ was right.
Yeah,
and that scared the crap out of them. Because they're terrified, and that's kind of what I've noticed. like big waves, but you have your own take, don't you? Where you're noticing like maybe we need to rebrand. Maybe it's time to rebrand in some way to help this issue. I don't know. We'll go ahead.
I just felt like I think it was important to make the statement that I think we all already know, and in this community of people who kind of have connected the spiritual truth of Christ's words to the archaeological evidence from the whole like Tartarian mud floods. We've combined and have a really solid picture, but the leading element is not archaeology or conspiracy or theory or conjecture. We're talking about Jesus Christ himself. It's the most important thing in the world. Jesus Christ said things that were true. He didn't have any issue picking words. We look over the Bible and he says, at hand. You think he didn't know how to say whether it was today or tomorrow? You insult him. I don't think that people realize that we have to believe Jesus even though the world says things that go against what he says. We're willing to believe in Jesus and stand against the institutions of man when they say stuff like God created the world. We believe in Jesus anyway, even though they say that's not true. When it comes to the reason that you exist, the fact that he died for your sins, they say if Jesus was even real, he was just some guy that died back in the day. Well, that's what they say, and we still believe in him anyway. So when Christ says something even more crazy, like my kingdom comes tomorrow or to this generation whom I'm speaking to. When he says that, we look back and say, well, that's crazy because there's no proof. And they told us that it was medieval times and they told us all this stuff. Well, who's telling the truth? Jesus or the people who have lied to us, who have destroyed our world with wars, who have indebted us to trillions of dollars? We continually are degenerating at the hands of the same people who keep telling us these lies that refute the words of Jesus. And I say, this is a movement about believing in Jesus. This is a movement about believing that the words of Jesus are true over everything else. And if that makes us a cult, then so be it, because there is no greater cult to be a part of than the cult of Jesus Christ. And if that makes us crazy, know that he promised they would think that about you. Jesus said there would be haters, as JD's new shirts say. So I see it as just it's a movement about trusting in Jesus above everything we've been taught, above everything that the institutions and government and entertainment and education, they all say something that's contrary to the words of Jesus. And I'm willing to fight them on the creation of the world. I'm willing to fight them on salvation. I'm willing to fight them on evolution. I'm willing to fight them on abortion. I'm willing to fight them on everything, that life is sacred because God is real, because Jesus is his son, because he died for your sins, because he loved you, so on and so forth. I'll fight them on all these things, and I will fight them when they say the last 1,000 years happened or 700 years or whatever. I don't care what history says. Jesus said he was going to come back in the lifespan of the people he was talking to, just like I'm talking to you right now. And he does not mince words. He does not mistake. He makes no mistakes. So even though we have a hard time rationalizing that because of all the lies they've told us, I say the heck with all of it, dude. The heck with all their programming, all their history books, the heck with everything they ever taught you. Jesus is my teacher, and I trust what he said. And if he said that his kingdom was coming, it came, and it's here right now, whether you can see it or not. You can look this way, you can look that way and say, where is it? It's inside the hearts and minds of you and me. And if we do our job right, we'll see it on the streets that we walk, in the buildings that we live in the daily lives that we live, the way we treat one another. And people will look to the left and the right, and they'll say, where is the kingdom? And they'll say, it is here with us. Jesus wins.
You are cooking with fire there, aren't you? Yeah, that was pretty good. I enjoyed that. Probably a good way to close the show. I think everyone in the chat appreciated that Holy Spirit inspired rant you just gave there. It was fantastic. And yes, I agree. There's not a single part of that I could even argue with. And like I said, it's not about the little season. It's about that Christ kept his word. And that's it. That's what we're really actually saying here. And as I think the truth is, Connor, I think the people who listen to us sincerely know that's what we're saying.
Mm-hmm.
It's the leaders of the old movement who just don't like this new movement. That's it. And I'm not saying we're leaders, because I'm not a leader. Christ is the leader. And we're saying that clear. This is what he said. I'm following him. I'm following his word. Come and do it with us. That's what we're saying, really, isn't it? We're not like here to say, right, and while you're at it, make sure you give us 10% of your wage every single month.
Yeah.
And just let me quickly start this non-profit organization up here and get this building you can all come to. We're not doing anything like that. In fact, we're completely against all that. It's like, well, we're not here to start a church. We're not here to start an institution or a set of rules that you must follow. We're not. Well, there's no order to what we're doing here. There's none of that. So it's different. It's not like what they're doing that they're upset about and angry at us for. Like, we're not doing it their way, and we're just saying, just believe in Christ and believe in what He said.
Yeah,
it doesn't get much more simple than that, does it? And like me, I've taken a bit of a step back just to watch for a little bit because it's getting weird, and I want to see the reactions for a while now. The seeds are out there, and I think the seeds are growing. I think they're establishing roots now. I think it's getting a little bit more intense, I would say, and I think we're going to see a bit of a pushback flailing around, shots fired. They're going to try and pull some of these roots up. They're going to do whatever they can, but it's like a weed. It's pernicious. It goes deep. It's spread across now. They ain't getting rid of it. It ain't going anywhere. They're going to have to learn to live with it now, and I'm interested to see the new voices that are going to rise, because it's inspired people, hasn't it? I think it's inspired people in a big way.
Yeah. It's like a relay. There was people who came before who kind of set the stage by asking all those weird questions and kind of being like, wait a minute, if there was this crazy, lost a super civilization that's been covered up in history, and then it's like, wait a minute, is this Jesus's kingdom? The one he's talking about? And everyone was like, oh, wow, mind blown. And whoever those people were, they went on with their lives. Maybe they felt like they said all they wanted to or needed to say, or maybe they were like killed off by some sort of nefarious organizations. I don't know. But regardless, the baton fell into hands like yours and mine to talk about this stuff during this season, this generation, this whatever length of time, a year, 2 years, whatever we've got. And hopefully, more people seek the truth and read the red words of Christ and find this stuff and are compelled to look into it and know it for themselves, because the more people that know the truth, the more difference we can make as a people in the world when it comes time to stand up for what really matters and having the guidance to know what that right thing is. That's all coming from a good and healthy relationship with Christ. So,
amen to that. Right. Well, on that note, then let's end the show here. Connor, thanks for doing this. Thanks for joining. I really appreciate it. It's been a while since I managed to actually connect with you. I know you've been on holiday, you've been busy, you've been doing your own thing. Your channel's going from strength to strength from what I've seen. It's growing. And obviously the YouTube gods will not allow you to be monetized, but you're obviously finding your own way around that. So go and support Connor through Patreon if possible. He's got his different tiers there, extra content, other levels. You can find him at The Cult of Con. He's always on here. Links are always all over the place for this guy. You can't be on my channel without bumping into him. But I think he's a wonderful creator, and I'm happy to have you here, Connor. And we'll do this again sometime, obviously. And I need to get on your channel. I still need to get onto your channel. I need to find some time where that's going to work.
Yeah, my schedule's changing at work, so things are gonna change. So we'll be doing more of like, the party bus things. I really want to be able to try and like get creators on from the circle to just like chill. No high pressure stuff. You know what I mean? No like suspense. We'll just do whatever, chill with the chat. It's always a small, more intimate experience on that channel, so it'll be a good time.
Yeah, I mean my chat right now is just a mess. It's just a mess of people screaming all sorts of things, and that's
penalty of leadership.
Yeah, well, I joke, guys. You're actually a wonderful group, a wonderful community, and we get rid of the troublemakers very quickly because we just don't have time for that nonsense. But yeah, I definitely would love to join you sometime and just have a bit of a chilled retrospective. That would be fun. I think that'd be good. That'd be a good talk. So yeah, we'll do that sometime, Connor. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. I'm going to end this with another song, and I feel like playing one of Judah's songs. It's been a while, and I think it's a nice one just to ring it out to the audience. But if you want to stick around, Connor, for a little bit, you're more than welcome to talk afterwards. But I'm going to close this show off now. To everyone listening, if you want to get a signed copy of The Nephilim Look Like Clowns, I have 4 paperbacks left and 2 hardcovers. So send me an email at understandingconspiracy@gmail.com and you can get yourself a signed copy. I'll mail that out to you in the post. And don't forget to check out the brand new channel, Understanding Creativity. Links are down below. Go and subscribe if you haven't already. Let's get the numbers on that one up. Let's get it so I'm not just talking to nobody, and there's actually some views on these videos I'm going to make. Destroying the modern art world, which has become an absolute corrupt, disgusting hellhole of a place to exist for modern creators. We're going to tear it down. We're going to build something better. We're going to build something new. So come and join me over there at Understanding Creativity. And just to end this show, guys, like I said, I'm going to play out a song by Judah Sargent, and I'm going to play one of my favorites by him, Endurance. But I'm going to go for the reggae version this time because I just really like this version. So thanks for listening, guys, and as always, God bless.
show. 40 lashes minus one. How my suffering is with this. 40 swore to an oath, until his death come by the hands of men, we shall stop. The Lord of Heaven's army shall protect me. God, my scars are ready to bear. Privilege to trust you, I'll worship instead. Though in anguish my pleas are that I can, under all these stones, still combine my hands to hold, to pray. Thank you, Lord. To tread the broad path the flesh declines, guided by the renewal of mind. Something's brewing in the unseen sky. Rulers of this realm forfeit at the mention of the true Christ. Bound are my wrists behind bars to chains for you. Temptations play its hand, but I cannot renounce what's true. As the earth shifts and the cracks expand, though we were already free, battered by you, glide on to get across the sea. Set sail toward the land of calamity. So be